All right, let's dive deep into ancient Greece today.
Sounds fun.
But we're not going to be talking about, those marble statues or dusty scrolls.
Oh.
We're exploring this historical period through something, well, a bit more unexpected.
I'm intrigued. What is it?
It's a comedic play, Lysistrata.
Ah, Lysistrata. You might be surprised at how much a play, a comedic one at that, can tell us about a society.
Yeah, especially a society in the middle of, huge conflict.
Exactly, like the Peloponnesian War.
Okay, so a quick refresher.
Yeah.
The Peloponnesian War was this massive conflict between Athens and Sparta.
It was a brutal war,
Totally tore the Greek world apart.
Yeah.
For almost 30 years.
Can you imagine constant battles, political turmoil?
Food shortages. Rough time to be alive.
Definitely a rough time. And right in the middle of all this chaos, we get Lysistrata.
Lysistrata enters the scene.
This play, written by Aristophanes, is just, well, it's full of witty dialogue, slapstick humor, and some pretty bold ideas about, well, the roles of women. And the longing for peace amidst all this chaos.
And bold is an understatement.
Oh, yeah.
This play centers around Lysistrata, this woman who's, just had enough of the war.
She has.
So what does she do?
I don't know. What does she do?
She comes up with this wild plan.
Okay.
A sex strike.
A sex strike.
Yeah, Lysistrata calls together women from all over Greece, not just Athens, but Sparta, Boeotia, you name it.
Wow.
And she convinces them to, well, withhold certain marital privileges.
Until the men agree to end the war.
Until they make peace.
It's such a funny concept.
I can only imagine the Athenian audience seeing this for the first time.
I know, right? Hilarious.
It's also pretty subversive for the time.
Definitely. Remember, this is ancient Greece.
Right.
Where men basically held all the power.
Right.
So to see a play that just flips that power dynamic.
Yeah, turns it on its head.
It's incredible. It imagines these women taking control and using their influence to, bring about peace.
In such an unexpected way.
Really unexpected.
So we meet all these great female characters in Lysistrata.
Oh, yeah. Tell me about them.
Well, there's CALONICE.
Oh, okay.
She's kind of this grumpy, hilarious older woman.
Grumpy but hilarious, nice.
Who's been married forever.
Right.
Then there's Mirren, this younger wife who gets swept up in all the craziness.
Love it.
And, of course, there's Lampedo. This strong, confident Spartan woman.
She's great. She adds a whole other layer to the story.
She really does.
And it's through these women, I think, that Aristophanes gives us this glimpse into how diverse Greek society was. You have all these different women from different backgrounds, different cities.
Yeah, but they're all united by this desire for peace.
Yeah.
And just, frustration with the men's constant, warmongering.
Absolutely.
So after, some initial hesitation,
yeah,
they all agree to Lysistrata's plan.
They're in.
And this is where it gets good. The women gather around this massive bowl of wine.
Massive bowl of wine. Sounds fun already.
And they swear this solemn oath to, deny their husbands.
Until they make peace.
Until there's peace.
I love that oath scene. It's comedic gold, the things they pledge to do. Or I guess not do.
Yeah.
It's just perfect. And at the same time, it shows you how committed they are to this.
To ending the war.
Absolutely.
But it doesn't stop there.
Oh, they take it further.
Oh, Lysistrata takes it way further.
What does she do?
She decides they're going to seize the Acropolis.
Whoa, the Acropolis.
Yeah, the Acropolis. It's like the heart of Athens, religious center, their treasury.
The whole shebang.
Basically.
By taking control of the Acropolis, they're not just making a statement. They're disrupting the entire Athenian power structure.
Totally.
I mean, can you imagine the Athenian audience seeing that?
Oh, the men were not happy.
Oh, I bet they weren't.
There's this scene where a group of these grumpy old men, led by this magistrate.
Oh, I remember him.
They try to storm the Acropolis, trying to get it back from the women.
Those poor men.
Yeah.
So used to being in charge.
They bring ladders, fire, everything.
Oh, yeah.
But the women are ready for them.
They're not giving up that easily, are they?
Not at all. They douse the men with water. They're throwing insults.
I love it.
They even threaten to,
use their feminine wiles.
To full effect. Let's just say that.
It's just brilliant. The men, who are supposed to be, powerful and dominant.
Right.
They end up looking like fools.
Yes.
While the women, that they're in control, they're resourceful, they're clever.
That's hilarious. But we also start to see the toll the sex strike is taking on everyone.
Yeah, can't last forever.
The men are getting desperate.
Especially
Marion's husband, Synesius.
Oh, Synesius.
He's like the poster child for frustration.
Oh, yeah.
He goes to the Acropolis, begging Marine, trying to seduce her, trying everything.
And Marine?
She's playing him. She just keeps coming up with these ridiculous excuses. Like, oh, I need a mattress, I need a blanket.
Oh, that's brutal.
It's torture for Synesius, but pure entertainment for us.
I can imagine. But it does make you think, this war isn't just some abstract thing happening off stage.
Right.
It's impacting people's lives, their relationships, their desires.
And speaking of impact, this tension isn't just in Athens anymore.
Oh.
Because now we have the Spartans showing up. And the Spartan ambassadors are in just as much discomfort, I'd say, as the Athenian men.
Oh, I bet.
Because it turns out the wives back in Sparta,
yeah,
they're just as fed up with the war.
Of course. They're holding their own sex strike back home.
Exactly. And it really drives home the point that this war is impacting everyone.
Everyone, not just one city.
The whole Greek world's feeling it.
Exactly.
So imagine you have these Athenian and Spartan ambassadors. They're all stiff and awkward, from the lack of affection.
Right, right.
And they're supposed to be negotiating this peace treaty.
This is a recipe for disaster.
And this is where Lysistrata, she unveils her secret weapon.
Oh, she has a secret weapon. What is it?
It's reconciliation.
Reconciliation?
But not like, the abstract idea. This is a real, live, naked woman.
Whoa, whoa, whoa.
She's like a living map of Greece.
A naked woman who's a map of Greece.
Yeah. It sounds crazy.
It does.
But it's also kind of genius.
I mean, I guess.
Like she took all their frustrations and desires and just channeled it all into this visual representation of peace.
Oh, okay.
And unity. Can you imagine how this plays out on stage?
Oh, I'd love to see that.
These stuffy ambassadors, eyes practically bugging out of their heads, pointing at, different parts of reconciliation's body.
Arguing over territory, I bet.
Oh, yeah. Give me Pylos. I want Megara.
Classic.
It's utterly ridiculous.
Oh, I bet.
But it's so funny.
It is.
And through all the, the jokes, the double entendres, Lysistrata never loses sight of her goal.
What's her goal here?
To remind them that they're not enemies.
Oh, right.
They're Greeks. They have a shared history, a shared culture.
That's a good point.
What I think is so fascinating here is how Lysistrata, she has no real political power.
Right. She's just a citizen.
But she commands this respect and authority.
Through
her intelligence, her wit, her determination.
It's amazing, really.
It's like she's this master diplomat, using humor and persuasion to get everyone on the same page.
And it sounds like it's working.
You can tell the men are starting to listen to her.
Really?
Yeah, despite all their blustering and posturing.
Yeah.
It's like she's holding up this mirror to them.
Making them see
the absurdity of this whole conflict.
I love that.
And something shifts. You can feel the tension easing.
So they're actually making progress.
And they actually reach an agreement.
They do.
They lay down their arms. They return the disputed territories. They stop fighting.
Imagine the audience seeing that.
Yeah, I bet there was a huge wave of relief.
Oh, I bet. Remember, they're living through this war, this endless war.
And to see peace, even just on stage.
Yeah.
It must have been incredible.
Incredibly cathartic.
And how do they celebrate this hard-won peace?
Let me guess. A giant feast.
Giant feast. Music, dancing.
Lots of wine.
Wine flowing freely. This outpouring of relief, celebration, joy.
And the chorus joins in, I bet.
Oh, of course. They invite the whole audience to participate in this moment of hope, of possibility.
It's like this shared experience.
Yeah, and I love how after all the craziness, the play ends on this optimistic note.
It does.
Yeah, it's like Aristophanes saying, look, I know the world's a mess. But we can't give up on the possibility of peace.
That's a powerful message.
It really is. And, it makes you wonder, could this actually work? I mean, could a sex strike actually bring about world peace?
Yeah. Yeah, that is a question.
So we're back, and we've seen it all in Lysistrata.
We have.
The women of Greece taking charge.
Right.
The men squirming a bit under their strategy.
Yeah.
And ultimately, this hilarious peace treaty.
Forged with a naked woman.
A naked woman named Reconciliation.
It's wild.
But let's get to the heart of it all. What does it all mean?
That's a good question.
What's Lysistrata trying to tell us?
Well, I think that's the beauty of Lysistrata. It works on so many levels.
How so?
On one hand, it's just funny.
Oh, yeah?
It's a comedy.
Yeah.
Full of slapstick and satire.
Uh-huh.
But under all that humor, there's this really insightful commentary. About war, gender roles, power, all of it.
So let's break that down.
Okay.
The play really doesn't hold back.
Come on.
On showing us what the Peloponnesian War did.
These consequences, yeah.
Aristophanes, I mean, he lived through it.
He did.
He knew the devastation it brought.
Exactly. And he doesn't just tell us about it.
Right.
He shows us. Think about the men.
Yeah.
They're going crazy from the sex strike.
They miss their wives.
They're complaining about their cold, empty homes. And then you have the women talking about the sons, the husbands they've lost.
Lost in the war.
It's a reminder that war isn't just this abstract thing.
Right. It's not some political game.
It impacts real people. It hurts people.
And I think that's what makes this play so powerful.
I agree.
It forces you to confront the human cost of war.
Yeah, even while you're laughing at the absurdity of it all.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
But Aristophanes doesn't just leave us with this bleak picture of war.
No, he doesn't.
He gives us something else.
What's that?
He offers us this vision of an alternative.
Okay.
A world where peace is possible.
Right.
Where men and women can, work together.
Yeah.
And where there's harmony, prosperity.
It's utopian.
It is.
And that's where I think the whole idea of gender roles comes into play.
Yeah, Lysistrata and the other women, they're like this challenge to the way things were.
In ancient Greece, yeah.
They're not content to sit on the sidelines.
Because the men make all the decisions.
Especially decisions that lead to,
yeah,
war and violence.
They're saying enough.
And they're not just complaining.
They're taking action.
Using their intelligence, their wit, their sexuality even.
Yeah, to force change.
It's not about getting rid of men, though, right?
We don't think so.
It's about balance. A partnership.
Where everyone has a voice.
Men and women both have a role to play.
I remember that line from Lysistrata.
Which one?
She says, women aren't trying to overthrow men. They just need them to, and I quote, come to their senses.
Come to their senses.
Stop acting like, reckless children.
It's a call for men to, embrace reason over aggression.
Diplomacy over dominance.
Right. And I think that's a message that still resonates today.
Oh, absolutely. Look around the world.
Yeah.
So many conflicts that seem impossible to resolve.
What if we all took a page from Lysistrata's playbook, though?
What do you mean?
What if we looked for creative solutions?
Unconventional ones.
The kind that challenge the status quo.
Bring people together.
Yeah. Okay, so let's talk about that ending.
The feast.
The dancing.
Everyone reunites.
It's also happy, so optimistic. Is it just a fantasy?
Maybe. I mean, it's definitely a comedic resolution.
Right.
A way to end the play on a happy note.
But I think there's something deeper there, too.
Oh, yeah.
It's a reminder that even in the darkest of times, hope is possible.
It's a vision.
A vision of what could be.
If we could just overcome our differences.
Work together.
It's like Aristophanes is daring us to imagine a world where peace and understanding, prevail.
Even if it seems impossible.
Maybe just that act of imagining it, that's the first step to making it real.
So as we wrap up our deep dive into Lysistrata,
yeah,
I want to leave you with this.
Okay.
Next time you're faced with a conflict.
Any conflict.
Could be a global crisis. Could be disagreement with your neighbor.
Okay.
Remember Lysistrata.
What about her?
Remember her lesson.
What's the lesson?
Don't be afraid to think outside the box.
Right.
Look for those creative solutions.
The ones that might seem crazy.
Maybe even a little bit crazy.
But they might just work.
And never underestimate the power of humor.
To bring people together.
To bridge those divides. Because like Aristophanes showed us,
over 2,000 years ago,
laughter can be a powerful weapon.
The most powerful weapon.
Thanks for joining us for this deep dive into Lysistrata.
It's been a pleasure.
Until next time, keep learning, keep exploring, keep those minds open.